Hi all, this is Jeanette Keynes from Jewelry Arts Inc., also known as Dr. Goldsmith. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make nervous wire. That's a special technique we use on cloisonné wire to make your enamels come to life.
We're live with a guest cinematographer, Valerie.
I have a number. It's counting.
Yay! So I just wanted to show something that actually we've never showed off in the studio before, is something called nervous wire. And when I mentioned nervous wire, Barbara was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And Valerie and I were like, nervous wire, duh. And then I realized actually nervous wire is a technique that my teacher, Louise Parrish, taught me, taught all of us years ago. And actually, I don't really know if other people call it that or do that or whatever. So the whole concept is this. This is a method of preparing your cloisonné wire for when you're enameling, when you're trying to model live things. So for example, in other words, if you're going to do, I'll let Valerie come in for a little close up right over here, because for example, if you're going to do an enamel of a flower, you know, like so, or a pear, you know, or a person, or just anything that was alive at one point. You make nervous wire, because in other words, if you do regular cloisonné wire, which is just straight, it looks much more static. You know, it doesn't have that like live situation happening. So that's what we do, is we make nervous wire. So first, the thing about nervous wire, like this is gold wire. A lot of times what we used to do back in the day, we would actually do 24 karat. This is 22. We're going to say on the top anyway. Both will work fine. But we take it and we mill it very thin to between 2 and 3 thousandths of an inch. Now, normal people don't measure in thousandths of an inch because it's insane. Um, 30 gauge is 10 thousandths. So this is like much thinner than that. That's probably the equivalent of like maybe 38 gauge or something like that. You know what I mean? Somewhere in that vicinity, but it's very thin and small. So we make it, we anneal it. If it's 22, maybe we anneal it. If it's 24, we usually don't anneal it because it's so soft that just like you want to just leave it the way it is. But then all you do is you take a pair of tweezers that have relatively stiff tips, just like this. You know, they don't have to be super special, but just enough that they're relatively rigid. You know what I mean? And then you take this, and it's basically you're making like a little accordion pleat. You're going to bend this back like that. You see that ridiculously tiny little bend, and then you give it a little squish. And then guess what? We're going to do the same thing in the other direction and squish, and then back in the other direction and squish. And you see what happens, how you're getting that like ridiculously tiny little accordion. And I'll put the macro lens on there later and do like an extreme close up. But basically, you just keep going back and forth until you have a nice little stack. And then what we do, I mean, I would do more of this, but then we're just going to pull it open. And you kind of quote unquote straighten it out like with the tweezers, but it'll never be perfectly straight. You know, it always has little waves. And I will say that it makes a big difference, that you get a very different look for a flower or a piece of fruit when you use the nervous wire. It's much more realistic looking. You know, it just looks more natural. So we do this. We've always done this. And now you can do this. And I'll just finish this little section, like probably I would do a little more. But then I would take this and I would grab the end if I could see the end. And I'll pull it out straighter than that, because you see what I mean? It's just like a little accordion situation that you're doing there. Okay. And then you can take your tweezers and kind of do this, right? But if you look at the edge, it's never as straight again. You always have a little bit of variation. And believe it or not, it really makes a difference. I mean, it really does. And it's not hard to do at all. You just sit there and do it. And I will get out the macro lens and try to show that up really close, because I know that it's extremely tiny and insane. But it's easy to do. And it's something that I think, you know, if you're going to enamel for real, like you want to have this little technique in your tool belt. So I'm trying desperately to get a real nice close-up of this, but Here it is. You see how the edge ends up just a little bit wavy? It's like you think it's a subtle thing, and yet it really isn't. It really is a nice effect. So easy to do, nervous wire. There you have it. So just in case you wanted to see a close-up, this is the pear enamel that was designed by Robert Kulik, the founder of the school. And this is one that I made many, many, many moons ago when I was just a youth. And here's a grisaille piece. This was done by one of my mentors. That's Louise Parrish. She really was a fucking talent, man. Because, like, look at this person. They look alive. Yeah, and grisaille is a technique. Basically, it's like you start with the black for the background, and then the face and everything, you start with white, and then you just sort of build up other colors to kind of get that shading. It's really an amazing effect. I mean, the eye in particular, I think, is batshit crazy. She was a real wizard. I was lucky to work with her.